You got people here in the march from all over the political spectrum, from every background, from every colour, every creed, and we're all come together to stand for freedom.
He loves the people. It's not about party. It's not about so many other things that people have made this. It's about true freedom.
You're a hard worker, Lou. I've known you for a few months now. You work hard. You earn your spot at Rebel Lewis. They're lucky to have you. You're representing the UK and you're standing up, reporting the hard truth of what is happening in our country.
Warning. Censorship.
After covering these protests a few times in London, it's quite incredible to see thousands and thousands of people just turning up for these rallies. And I was genuinely in disbelief to how many people there actually was marching.
Look at the amount of people, man. This is crazy. This is crazy.
And you'd have thought, due to the scale of the event, the mainstream media would have at least been there to cover it, or at least try to speak about it, but alas, they're still choosing to ignore this entire movement. But to add, the support for Rebel News was outstanding.
We love Rebel News, say we love Rebel News.
Yay.
We love Rebel News, say we love Rebel News.
Mate, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that.
We love that. I love Australia, guys.
Oh, what, Avi? You many?
Yeah, Avi.
Shout out to Avi. You got fans over here, man. Come over here.
Avi, yeah, we love Avi. All the Aussie guys over here are watching you.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
Doing in Australia as well.
It's mental, isn't it?
So a big thank you to everyone who's been shaking my hand and showing their support. There were, of course, some familiar faces at the march, ones from previous protests.
You're a hard worker, Lou. I've known you for a few months now. You work hard. You earn your spot at Rebel News. They're lucky to have you. You're representing the UK and you're standing up, reporting the hard truth of what is happening in our country.
Yes.
So I love you and I respect you, and I'll buy you a 59p carton of Sun Exotic with my chest. You deserve it. You do look proper dapper.
Thank
Can
you.
we just get a zoom in on the socks?
Yeah. I've seen that. You seen that?
Oh, look, they match the carton.
Yeah.
That's why I got him the red one.
Yeah.
I saw him a mile away.
White socks matter, mate. That's for you.
And to add, everyone was, of course, enjoying themselves.
Bloke has better moves than me.
I think it's important to note that the mainstream media are demonising these groups of people as anti-vaxxers, which we all know anti-vaxxer does not mean what it says on the tin. The great thing is everyone was willing to engage in conversation and make their voices heard. And so take a look at the report for yourself to see whether this is a cross-party concern.
This is Lewis Brackpool reporting here for Rebel News, and as you can see behind me, protesters are ready to gather and march against the mandatory vaccine legislation that the government has been pushing out towards the citizens of Great Britain. My job here today is not only to find out why people are here, but to also find out where they sit politically and see if this is a cross-party issue. Do you think that this is an opportunity for the left and the right to come together and protest against tyranny?
I think that's already happening.
Yep.
That's already happening, and it's really interesting because in our small group of lawyers that are protesting against this, there are people who are on all elements of the spectrum. People who have voted like me. I've kind of gone in. I've voted different ways, different parties at different times, and there are people who have very definite views. So yeah, I think that's already happening. Everybody here, I guarantee everybody here has a different view on politics.
And can you believe they won't even mention it on mainstream media? It's mental. It is mental. Afternoon. Afternoon. Not very talkative. I'm loving this. What is this? Peace. Peace Officers UK. So you've not seen any trouble today then?
No, well, there was a little bit of trouble earlier, but she jumped in and stopped it. So
There's so many people here today as well to stand against tyranny. What are your thoughts?
yeah, I'm here to stand against tyranny too. It's like we need medical freedom. We need all our freedoms.
Yeah.
We're human beings. We're not commodities.
Gaining support from motorists now. Do you think that the left and the right should come together and make this a cross-party concern?
I believe that most of the government is just absolute bollocks, and you can look through history over the 100 years, it's only been down to two parties at the end of the day. That's Labour and Conservatives. And when you look over the history over the 100 years, the damage that they have caused this country is insane. And just look at what's happening right now. Tyranny. You cannot mandate an experimental vaccine on anybody. We have our inhuman inalienable rights given to us by God Almighty. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. That's fact. I have the right of full bodily integrity over what I do to my body. I have the right to remain silent, private and confidentiality. I mean, as long as I don't do any harm, any loss, any theft, any injury, I don't do that to anybody. I'm a free man. I'm a sovereign being.
David Curtin again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Good, good. Since our previous conversation from our last march, what do you think? Do you think things are getting better, worse?
I think they're about the same. I mean, there's pushback in England, especially with people coming here. There's 4 big marches in the UK this weekend. There's here, there's Brighton, there's Newcastle, there's Glasgow. Last weekend, there were lots of marches around the country. So they have rode back on the vaccine passport thing. They're not going to implement them in England for nightclubs and large events. This is really good. Although in Scotland and Wales, they are too. So we need to push back there as well. They are jabbing children, however, you know, and coercing children into getting them, I think, without informed consent. And this is terrible. But I think a lot of people are waking up and realizing, you know, that there's something not right here, because a lot of people who were for everything, for lockdowns, for vaccines, they've had 2 vaccines, and now the government said you're going to have a 3rd vaccine. You might be locked down anyway. So a lot of people are going, what the hell's going on? And they're coming over to our side. They can see that there's something really wrong. So that's a good thing.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think that this should be a non-partisan, not left or right concern? Do you think both the left and the right should come together as one and stand up against this coercion?
Yeah, on this issue, absolutely, and that's what's happening. You know, you've got people here in the march from all over the political spectrum, from every background, from every colour, every creed, and we're all come together to stand for freedom and to say, you know, whatever happens, if we don't have our civil liberties that our forefathers have fought for, then we don't have anything. So we're coming together on it.
Can I pick one of these up? Did you make these?
For a while I was doing it, but I didn't want to encroach on the movement. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, we can explain, Carl.
Hell yeah! So we're taking a break here from marching in Vauxhall, and currently there are so many people just everywhere, absolutely everywhere. It's honestly crazy the amount of people that are here. I've seen no scuffles, no violence whatsoever. Everyone has remained peaceful. Do you see this as a cross-party concern? Do you think the left and the right can come together on this issue?
No, I don't. I don't think. No, I don't.
Do you think it's more just the right speaking about it, or more the left speaking about it? What do you think?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I think the left and the right are both arms of the same body.
Okay.
So, and it's a global thing. So I'm not convinced that either of our political parties actually can sort this out.
So they've said follow the drums.
All right.
But it looks like it's in a religious march. Everything's to support Christ. It's not what everyone's here for. It's weird, a bit weird.
You think that's a bit weird?
Yeah. So we'll see.
What do you make of the current climate with everyone, whether it be left or right, coming together and fighting this tyranny? What do you think?
I think it's the only way when we express the true freedom, when we express, you know, what is in our minds without being chastised by it. I think the church has something to say about it. The church wants to walk with the rest of the people. It has nothing to do with the religion only. It has to do with what God wants. People have made out of God a religion, but God is a lot more than that. And He is walking with the people of London, because this is what He loves. He loves the people. It's not about party. It's not about so many other things that people have made this. It's about true freedom. It's about making choices. And if God didn't oblige us to make choices that they wanted or He wanted, who's man to do that?
He's giving the thumbs up. You saw that here first. He gave the thumbs up. You saw that first.
Obviously, at all protests, you are going to find some very interesting characters.
Do you think the left and the right can come together for this issue and put their differences aside and stand up to tyranny?
Yeah, there might be common ground on this respect. But when the dust settles on this again, we're going to have it out again. Don't worry about that.
Like a football match.
Yeah.
But one thing that's for certain, and that's everyone at these protests share a common goal, not wanting to have their basic human rights taken away from them, or even having to go through a medical procedure that they don't know the full long-term effects of. Despite everyone in good spirits, people are genuinely worried. They're worried we might turn out like Australia, or even Canada, or even Israel, and well over 80% of the entire country has been fully vaccinated and are on their 4th booster shot. Yet the media, or the mainstream media, continue to either belittle or silence these people into just wanting to have a fair and open dialogue. This is Lewis Brackpool reporting in London for Rebel News. Our job here at Rebel News is to bring you the stories the mainstream media does not want you to see. If you appreciate our work and want to help fight back against this tyranny, please consider donating at ukreporters.com. Thank you.